All right. Can everybody see this?
Yep.
All right. So I joined BNI about 5 years ago, and I feel that it's been an incredible investment. And I love to go around to different chapters and share what seems to work for people. How do you get the most out of this experience? How do you make it worth your time and your money? What can you do to maximize your referrals and those of your members? So the next couple slides or few slides were actually provided by your very own Brian Lobig a while ago. And it really shows the benefits of a referral network. So literally the larger the group, the more money per member. So when a chapter doubles in size, it also doubles its revenue. So that's really important. You can see 16 people. It's pretty incredible, right? 16 people have 256 connections. 32 people, look at that. It's pretty incredible, right? And so people who realize this and maximize this are the ones who get the most out of BNI. So, what are the benefits of size in a referral network? Like, what does that really mean? Sometimes it's hard to think about that when you're running around on a day-to-day basis and joining your meeting and going about your life. But I really want people to think about what the benefits are. You have access, and I heard a few people talk about this, to different ethnic and cultural chambers of commerce, right? Each of us is connected to our community. I heard somebody say they joined because they really want to have a connection to new communities. We tend to stay with what we know, and that can keep us from growing. Regional chambers of commerce, religious and educational alumni groups, sports groups, sororities and fraternities. I just heard Dominica talk about that. Hobby and nonprofit organizations, industry groups, so senior care, realtor associations, the list goes on. So how do you get the most out of BNI? Okay. A lot of people who come to BNI will say, or might say when they first come, I just don't know if I'll be able to refer people. I don't want to join because I'm afraid I wouldn't be able to give and I don't want to just take, which is a really nice way to come across and is a really nice way to be a human, but it doesn't really serve you in the long run and you're not going to stay, right? If you're not getting referrals, you're not going to stay. So how do you tap into your network? Most of us have neighbors, whether you live in a home, whether you live in an apartment, whether you have, who knows where you live, but you live somewhere and you come in contact with people, right? Neighbors, people at the store, relatives, people who you meet at the dog park, best friends. These are all humans who have needs, right? So I have found one of the most productive ways to pass referrals is the neighborhood listserv. There was a woman who 2 years after I posted the window genie of my chapter on a listserv, she reached out and said, Sarah, I'm finally ready to reach out to him. And he got a huge referral. So don't underestimate how much it can help others just by dropping their name in those listservs. College or professional listservs, current providers, right? I have a landscaper. I've been working on him for 2 years, right? He doesn't have the time yet, but I want to get him into my chapter. Sometimes we don't consider the people that were right in front of us, and that can be a miss. Okay, promoting other members. The givers gain thing, it really does pay dividends, maybe not in the ways that we originally think it will, but it does. How do you promote other people? When you promote other people, they want to be in your circle. They may not promote you, but it will come around, right? So there's many ways. Go to networking events. Sometimes it can feel nice to bring along a friend or two, somebody you know. I know I saw Daniel at a few networking events, and it's funny how you can just see someone you know, and it feels comforting, right? To know that there's a familiar face there that can prop you up or just sort of be a partner. Social media, right? The summer games, that's sort of an example of how you can use social media to promote people and to have some fun along the way too. Your office. Many of us don't have physical offices. Maybe you have a virtual office, but physical offices can be a big way to share. Also, newsletters, mentioning people. Some people are very good at partnering and mentioning others in their own. Share a testimonial. I can't speak enough about what it means when somebody can speak to you about you and talk about what you've done for them. That is the most important thing you can do to help somebody else. If you've had an excellent experience, say so. Share it in writing. Consider posting it on the person's LinkedIn page, social media, just shouting them out. It really doesn't take a lot of time or energy to do that. And you'll be shocked at how that just comes around for you one way or another, that positivity. Mentoring others. Everybody has an expertise. Everybody here in your chapter has an expertise. That's why we were selected for our unique spots in our chapters. So what do you know that others may not? Not in a salesy way, but in a, hey, wow, that was really interesting. This is something someone else said is interesting. I'll share that knowledge with you and see if it helps you out. It's powerful, and don't be afraid to share it because you think someone might not be interested.
2 minutes, Sarah.
Thanks. Take the initiative. Ask for a specific referral. Be clear about who you want to meet. Consider writing a sales script that someone else can use on your behalf. Sometimes people don't know how to position you, and it's not too forward to say, hey, can you give me a couple of words that I can use to talk about you? Come to your one-to-ones prepared. So again, give people the tools they need to help you. So before the meeting, go to LinkedIn, identify a couple people you'd like to meet, ask them, say, hey, you have someone in your network I'd like to meet. Would you be willing to foster an introduction? Lead with curiosity. Listening, show you're paying attention, right? Be interested in the other person before you start talking about yourself. That's huge. Okay, we talked about educating and making sure someone doesn't know all the ins and outs of what you're about. Ask for what you need. Okay, this one I talk about all the time because this has changed my business and my life. Become a leader. I came into BNI 5 years ago. I was asked to be a visitor host. I said, okay. And then the current president said, you want to be a vice president? I said, what? Vice president. It was the best thing I ever did. My engagement with the chapter grew exponentially, just getting to know people, building trust. Visibility makes you memorable. You really get out what you put in. And I do this, I don't like to sound salesy, but trust is really, actually, that's what Kay talked about, the power of intrinsic motivation. Kay, I love that, because I think when you're motivated yourself, people feel it and it works. Show appreciation. That's really important. Don't forget to call people out. Everyone likes to hear it. And I think, hopefully I didn't go over, Brian.
You were like 2 seconds over. Perfect timing. Well done.
Thank you for having me.
And I was taking notes on that. I actually did promote Rachel in my own